today and pick up tomorrow. Highway 51 Exchange.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum and C.H. Moore Homestead. Good to see you, Joey. How you doing?
Good morning. Good to see you too, Seth.
Yeah, thanks for coming in and talking today. And it's always just fun to catch up with you off the air. And we were talking about getting ready for the Apple and Pork Festival, and that parlayed itself into a discussion about the fall. And, you know, even though it's the middle of July, you know, I don't feel like it's too early to start thinking about the fall. Do you, Joey?
I do not, especially as hot as it's been. I
Yeah.
just keep telling myself fall is coming.
I love the summer. Don't get me wrong. I'll take 95 degrees over -10, 7 days a week and twice on Sundays. But the fall just, it hits the spot, and I like thinking about it.
Same here.
Yeah, for sure. Very good. Speaking of the fall, Joey, part of the reason that we got in on the topic was Apple and Pork Festival. And again, even though it's mid-July, you're thinking about Apple and Pork Festival. What's on your mind as you think about that?
Yeah, they start working on the Apple and Pork Festival preparations in January. So we've been months long working on this. The flea market spaces have been going very well. I suspect that we'll probably be sold out of flea market spaces by the end of next week. Only a few left. We had a lot of returning flea market vendors, you know, saying that, you know, the last year or two, you know, they had a really good year. And that sellout is even with, you know, adding additional spaces where we could squeeze more in. So
Wow.
doing very well there. And I know that all of the nonprofits that are involved with the food tents on the ground, they're having a meeting soon. And so we look forward to bringing those people back and offering all those good foods to everyone.
Yeah.
I think there may still be some openings in the fine art show and the crafters tent if anyone was interested in that.
Okay.
They're welcome to contact the museum and we can see if we could find a fit for them there.
You know, we don't talk about that very often, that crafters tent that sits kind of on the east side of the lawn. Highlight that for us.
Well, east side of the lawn is actually what we call the fine art show. It's 12 artists. It's juried. So
What's that mean?
well, that means that the artists send in their work and then you know, it's looked at and they decide, you know, which artist they think would be the best fit.
I see.
Yeah. And then the crafter tent is actually on that lot across the street from the museum to the south, that big tent. It's always neat to see who she brings in, a lot of unique things and very talented people, you know. So, you know, you have basket weavers and honey crafters and just all kinds of things. Kind of reminds you of well, some of the arts or trades or crafts that are kind of dying out. There are people who are still, you know, weaving those rugs and keeping those things alive.
Yeah. Well, and that's the spirit of the Apple and Pork Festival, right?
It truly is.
Those old traditions and keeping those going, right? Yeah.
It's you know, it's a celebration of our history and our heritage. And I would like to add to that hospitality. We bring in so many people, welcome so many people.
Yeah, for sure. Very good. Well, Joey, as it relates to Apple and Pork Festival weekend, of course, you mentioned the flea market and all those things. And I'm always amazed at how quickly not only there's the interest, but excuse me, just how quickly those spots go. I mean, again, we're middle of July and you're telling me before we even turn the calendar to August, we are going to be sold out of those. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah. And last year we actually sold out sooner than this. So,
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, as the grounds prepare for the Apple and Pork Festival, I know one of the big things for the Homestead is obviously the tours of the museum that go on during the Apple and Pork Festival. Tell me a little bit. Are you looking for volunteers for that? Has that been a strong, you know, have you had strong volunteership the last few years? Tell me about some of that.
Well, we have had, I won't say I will say that our volunteers are strong, the people that come and help us.
Mhm.
But I will say that we certainly could use more help. We
Mhm.
would be happy to see those numbers grow. So we need volunteers in all areas. We need volunteers in the food booths. The
Mhm.
museum actually operates some of those food stands
Mhm.
and other places as well. And I'm always looking for volunteer docents in the house
Mhm.
while we're open for tours. Um, I'm actually getting ready to start working on that here pretty soon. So if someone's out there and listening and they think that they might like to be a docent, just come and see what that would be like. It's only 4 hours
Mhm.
is how much time you're giving. And I will add that the house is air conditioned and we have a roof. So
Some days that
if
makes
you're
a difference.
thinking- if
Yeah.
you think back to some of those really wet festivals we've had, or you're thinking back to some of those really hot festivals we had, or if it's cold, we also have heat. So you have the comfort. Oh, and indoor plumbing. So that would definitely be a few perks, if you
Yeah.
would want to help the museum out in that way.
Joey.
And some people hesitate to think, oh, I'm not familiar enough with the history of the house, or I'm not comfortable. It's not like that. What we do is when the guests come in during the festival, it's a self-guided tour.
Mhm.
And then we station a docent in each room.
Mhm.
And that person is just there to smile and greet them,
Mhm.
make them feel welcome when our visitors come through. And if they have questions, if they know the answer, they're welcome to answer. If not, you just come find me and I can answer.
Mhm.
And it's really a very enjoyable time. So if anybody's interested in that,
Mhm.
please do give me a call.
What
We've had
is,
some young
go ahead. I'm sorry.
people
Yeah.
involved.
Mhm.
If you are younger, you need to have an adult accompanying you.
Mm.
And so we've done that with the younger ones that come in. But yeah,
Like how young do you have to have a?
well, you should be probably 17, 18, something
Okay.
like that. Then you can come on your own.
Okay.
But there are kids out there who have an interest that are much younger. And it's just better to have them paired, with a parent or an
Sure.
adult, you
Yeah.
never know what could come up.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a great point you bring up, because I know really since I would say like 2018, 2019, you and I have talked about, pardon me, the youth movement of interest in the homestead. Not necessarily the volunteership, but the interest in walking through, seeing the history. And I'm curious if any of that has paid dividends. Are you seeing younger volunteers come forward?
Let me tell you about my friend Stacy.
Tell me about your friend Stacy.
Well, I just adore her. I met her a few years ago. She had come for a museum tour. She loves history. She was in junior high, and she actually lives in Tennessee but has family here. And she just showed so much interest, and so I kind of really took her under my wing and gave her a special tour and this and that and whatnot. And she's come back, and she comes back and helps me now. So every summer she comes to Clinton to visit her grandparents, but she gets to spend a day with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so she came this time and she helped me with the installation of our current exhibit and helped me with some other things. And the girl's just so bright, and her parents really nurture, her interest in history.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just so passionate about it. In fact, I remember at a candlelight tour a couple of years ago, she asked me, she said, "Now, do you have internships?" And her mother said, "Now, hold on. I think you need to graduate junior high before we start talking."
Joey, it's a little Joey you've got on your hands. That's terrific.
Yeah.
That is terrific. Well, and that's, I'm sure there's a few other stories like that of just young people. And that's what's going to, bigger than just Apple and Pork. That's what's going to continue the history of the homestead. And I know you've got young leaders in there like Kelby McMath, Kirsten Goff. I know you've got some individuals like that in there that are young and passionate about it. So, hopefully you find a few more of those. Yeah, definitely. Well, Joey, believe it or not, I look at the clock. We're coming up on a break. Apple and Pork Festival 2025. We haven't even thrown the dates out there yet for folks. What are the dates of this year's festival?
Always falls on the last full weekend of September, and I believe this year, does that put it at 27 and 28?
That would be correct, Joey.
Right.
Yeah, September 27, September 28.
And this will be the 57th annual.
We're coming right up on 60. I can't believe it.
The year before we know it.
I know it. So with this year's festival, is there? And I know one thing about the festival is it doesn't change. You know, it's the same year after year, and that's what people love about it. But is there anything new wrinkles or any anything new of note, I guess, for this year?
Nothing that I can think of this year.
Cool. Will you have the tomahawk throwers back this year?
No, I
They're
wish
done, right?
Yes, they haven't been back for quite a while.
Yeah.
And it's another situation where, they too were a nonprofit organization.
Yeah.
And just not being able to get the volunteers to
Got it.
do what they want to do.
Rope maker?
Always the rope maker. You can always count on the rope maker.
President Lincoln?
Yes,
President
he will
Lincoln?
be here. That is thanks to, in part, a grant from Looking for Lincoln, and then the rest of that is picked up by the Museum Association. He's so popular. We adore Mr. Lincoln.
He draws a crowd when he presents.
He does.
Yeah, it is phenomenal. People come out to listen to him. It's terrific. What was the other one I was going to ask about? There's entertainment. Do we have entertainment set for this
The
year?
entertainment, it is all set. I think people can expect pretty much what we had last year for the stage. And the entertainment acts are sponsored by Constellation. We're always grateful to them for that. And then a portion of the stage rental is covered by First National Bank.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Folks always enjoy the entertainment. So,
Yeah.
get yourself some ham and beans, baked potatoes, some corn. Oh, gosh, everything on the grounds is good. Oh, my goodness. Making me hungry thinking about it,
Me
Joey.
too.
Where do folks go for all things Apple and Pork Festival?
Well, for the most up-to-date information, they can follow our Facebook page, and that's Apple and Pork Festival, and it features that trademark logo that everyone's familiar with. They can also go to the museum's website, and that's www.chmorehomestead.org, or they're always welcome to give us a call, and that number at the museum is 217-935-6066.
Joey Long, director of the C.H. Moore Homestead, DeWitt County Museum, our guest in studio this morning. More to come with Joey on the morning show.
WHOW.
Here's Clinton Save-A-Lot owner Dave Jackson on why you should shop his store.
Well-thought decisions on our pricing and try to make sure that we have the right retail on the right items so that you don't have to go anywhere else. It's just such a fallacy that people think they have to drive out of town and put up with what they have to put up with in these stores, park 2,000 feet from the door and just go through that whole process.
Dave and his staff works hard to save you up to 40% on your food bill every day at your Clinton Save-A-Lot. And as Dave always says,
hope to see you soon.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to Fiber Fast Internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
The Illinois Emergency Management Agency has designated WHOW's many platforms on AM and FM, as well as WEZC 95.9 FM, as standby radio stations for emergency messages to be sent for severe weather, as well as for the Clinton Power Station. We also have a direct link to the National Weather Service for watches or warnings to air immediately when they're issued. Keep yourself and your family safe by tuning into the WHOW platforms on AM, FM, or streamed online, as well as on WEZC 95.9 FM.
SIU Family Medicine wants the best health for you and your family. Be a champion. Protect your loved ones. The SIU Center for Family Medicine of Lincoln is accepting new patients. Click their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com to schedule your appointment.
Hi, I'm Brett with Central Cremation Center. We're proudly offering pet cremation services to help keep your faithful companion close to you. Learn more about our pet services by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Joey Long is the director of the C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum, my guest in studio for today. Joey, the Picture Perfect exhibit, one, sounds like it's going very well. I didn't realize it wraps up at the end of the month. How about Picture Perfect?
Yes. So, when I started this project, the original goal that I had in mind was about 20 images, thinking that that's what would, fill that gallery wall that we had in the lower level. But we ended up with 45, which is wonderful. That's going to allow us to rotate what's on the gallery wall each year. And that number will fluctuate depending on the text panels that went with it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I wanted an opportunity to be able to show the entire accomplishment and collection all at one time. So through the month of July, I have them on display throughout the house, on the gallery wall, and then one of the exhibit rooms in the lower level. So people can come out and they can take a look and get to see all 45 all at once. A lot of these pictures have not ever been publicly displayed before. They were tucked away in albums or in too bad of a condition to put on display. Each one of them has a text panel. There's some really interesting stories that go with. And then the other thing I just loved about this particular project, putting it together, was the images that are displayed throughout the house. I set up vignettes. So for example, there is a really fantastic photograph of a building that's being built in Clinton in 1893. And the turret is under construction, and someone's taken advantage of the attention that particular building might receive because it's under construction, and put up a banner advertising that the Illinois Central Railroad was offering an excursion up to the World's Fair in Chicago. And so this allowed me to pull out things that would go with this. We have a really neat souvenir picture from the World's Fair. We also have these fantastic books that were printed specifically for C.H. Moore. These were just found in the attic maybe 7 years ago. And they've been tucked away. They look like they were printed yesterday. And then also in these boxes of books, there were pieces of art. And so I put a piece of that art on display, scenes of the 1893 World's Fair. So it's been really neat to take the image, put the text panel with it, telling the story of the image, but then being able to pull things from the museum collection all together. And then all of this helps tell the story. It's really neat.
Yeah. So the collection some of the collection will go away, but not permanently. You'll rotate in and out and those things.
So we'll still have all of the images on the gallery wall. Then these other images will be tucked away so we can rotate out. Or, if there's an exhibit in the future where, this image would certainly fit into this, or maybe one of those images would inspire a new exhibit. But they'll definitely be used. They'll definitely be seen. They'll rotate out. But I just wanted to give everyone the opportunity, whether, they sponsored one of these, or they're just curious about it, or just like looking at old photos, an opportunity to see all of them, because there's so much value in that collective whole.
Sure.
When you walk away from that exhibit, you really feel like you have learned a lot about the town and literally just, stepped back in time, especially these shots that we have, these interior shots of like old hardware stores and things. When you are looking at all these interior shots, you truly feel like you stepped back into another time. Wow.
So that goes down July 31. So get out and see that. Just quickly, Joey, couple minutes. What's been the most popular picture or story?
Well, there is one particular image that was very small in its original state. I took it to Mark Woods. He enlarged it, brought it back to me. And then when I looked at it enlarged, I realized that man's missing a leg. And I snapped a shot and sent to Mark. Did you notice this? No, I didn't. And it's an interesting thing that was missed, because the original was so small and maybe not in clear focus. But
Wait,
that's
was he
very interesting.
was he like physically missing a leg, or the picture
Right.
did not get?
No, he's missing his leg, but it's a picture of it's the picture of Beatty's hardware store on the square in Clinton, and the people are unidentified, unfortunately. I think possibly one is Mr. Beatty, the owner at the time, and then a couple of his clerks or employees with him. And the one man is standing there, and he just has a imagine a crutch, but has somehow been cobbled together so it comes at the knee, and that and he possibly was a Civil War veteran. Mr. Beatty was a Civil War veteran. There were a lot of war injuries. There were also a lot of farm injuries around here, as well as railroad accidents. So I can't say what happened to this gentleman, but boy, sure would like to know his story.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Anything on Picture Perfect we didn't touch on there, Joey?
I don't think so.
Well, let's wrap it up with when Picture Perfect comes down July 31. You've got another, is it a program or
An event. We have an
yes.
event taking place. So on Sunday, August 3rd at 1 p.m., we are going to be having a special event. It's called Honey Through the Ages, a tasting journey. And this will be presented by Amber Boring Rutledge at the C.H. Moore Homestead, DeWitt County Museum in the Carriage Barn. And she's going to tell the visitors all about the history of honey, and everyone who attends the free event will also have the opportunity to take part in a honey tasting.
Sure. Very good. Very good. Well, Joey, where do folks go to keep up with all things C.H. Moore Homestead? We talked apple and pork in the first segment. Direct us to all the places.
Well, for the museum, again, the most up-to-date place would probably be the Facebook page, and that can be found under C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum. They can give us a call at 217-935-6066 or check out our website.
Joey, it's always great to see you. You always have great stuff. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Joey Long, director of the C.H. Moore Homestead and DeWitt County Museum, our guest in studio. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network News comes your way now.
WHOW.